Hey juniors, this is Mrs. Ulsis from the Counseling Center, and originally Mr. Doherty and I would have been giving this presentation to you during core time, and obviously we are not able to do that. But we have a lot of information that we want to get out to you about your senior year and what's coming up, so we are sending this out by video. So hopefully you'll have a chance to go through this and get all the information that you need in regards to your schedule for your senior year, senior seminars and co-ops, as well as some college planning information. All right, first things first, typically Mrs. Hosking, Nurse Hosking, would be giving this information, and we just want to let you know that there are specific immunizations that you need in order to be able to come back to school for your senior year. And they are listed here. They are also listed on our website, and students can be excluded per state law if they do not have these immunizations. Now, obviously, with the current COVID situation, a lot of doctors' offices are not open. We'll obviously give some leeway on this, but if possible, before we get back to school, if things are opened back up, try to get back into your doctor's offices and get these immunizations before school begins. All right, in regards to scheduling, your schedules will be emailed home this week. I think they're going out on Tuesday or Wednesday. They are going out to your parents' email address. And so they will not be going to your email address or Canvas just because of the way that we've got to send them out to all students. So they will go to your parents' email address. We want you to really take a look at your schedule. There's a lot of information in there. We have gone through every student's schedule. We want to make sure that everything that we sent out to you earlier, or everything that we send out to you, is accurate, but obviously you will want to take a good look at it as well. First of all, make sure that you have a complete schedule, that all 15 spaces are filled if you are going to be here throughout the whole senior year, that all of your graduation requirements are included. Sometimes, for instance, maybe you were going to take your second art class for the academic honors diploma, and maybe it didn't fit in your schedule and it got kicked out and one of your alternates got put in. If you did not get that art credit in there and you need that for academic honors, let us know. Also check for how it's balanced. Are any trimesters heavier than others? Do you need us to move things around for sports or activities? Let us know if you want us to change senior seminars or co-ops from first to fifth period, or if you want something to be first and fifth period or fourth and fifth period. Let us know that and we can do what we can. We can't always make all those changes, but we will give it a shot. If you want schedule changes made, we now have a Google form to do that. You can go online to our website, the Counseling Center, whscounselingcenter.com, and you can fill out that Google form. It's just going to ask you what you want to drop, what you want to add, if you want it to be balanced any differently, or if there's any other circumstance that you want us to take a look at. We ask that you put this information in our Google form by May 15th. All schedule changes should be requested by that date, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a couple other slides here. One thing that we want to ask of you is that you do not ask for a specific teacher. We do not have access to do that. We do not have the ability to do that at this point. And so obviously that's something that we've been doing for several years. We do not really allow students to request specific teachers, but don't put that on your schedule change form either. Okay, thanks. All right. So the schedule change deadline is May 15th, and obviously you know that we're pretty flexible on this. If you come to us before a trimester begins and want to change something, we're pretty flexible. We've got a whole schedule change policy on our website that you can take a look at. You can drop an elective to take another elective, or you can drop a specific class to take another class that will be more pertinent to your future career or college admission. You can drop a senior seminar to take any other course. You can drop a class to take a co-op. We're pretty flexible after that schedule change deadline. However, the reason why we ask you to do it by this date is really to your benefit, because sometimes you might want a specific class. And say you come to us in October and say, hey, I really want to get into Intro to Tourism. We may look at the schedule and that class may only be offered first trimester. And if that's the case, then obviously it's too late for us to make that change. Or maybe you want a class in second and third trimester, but we just can't shift your schedule around to fit it in. So the earlier you can get this done and the sooner that we can have all these schedule changes made, the better it is going to be for your schedule. So it is to your benefit to hit that May 15th deadline. Okay, let's talk about senior seminars for just a second here. So senior seminars are those release periods. You've been looking forward to them for, the last several years, I'm sure, but there are some guidelines to it. Number one, you can only have one senior seminar per trimester. So don't ask for one in fourth and fifth period. You can mix senior seminars with co-ops. So sometimes we will have a student who has a fourth period co-op and a fifth period senior seminar, and that way they're released after third period. That's possible, but no two senior seminars in one trimester. You will have 3 assignments that you'll complete during the senior seminar. Mrs. Ellis is in charge of senior seminar, and she has different assignments that go along with our graduation pathways and our life ready commitment. So you'll learn more about that and those assignments when you're in the class, and those 3 assignments are due by the end of the trimester. As long as you're turning in those 3 assignments, you will get an A in that senior seminar. Now, here's the information about the grade and the credit. You'll see on your transcript that there is a grade and a credit that goes towards that senior seminar. But that credit doesn't count towards your needed credits for graduation. So if you're a little short on credits, we can't count that senior seminar towards your total 42 credits. The other thing is it does not count towards your GPA. So that A does not get calculated in the GPA. On the same token, neither does the F. So if you don't turn in your assignments for senior seminar and you get an F in senior seminar, at least it doesn't get factored into your GPA. It does show up on your transcript though. Finally, it does not count towards athletic eligibility. So you know how you have to pass at least 4 classes to remain athletically eligible. If you have a senior seminar in your schedule, you truly only have 4 classes, and so you've got to pass all 4 of those to remain athletically eligible to play, or academically eligible to play athletics. So keep that in mind. Finally, there will be no senior seminars added to your schedule after May 15th. We are absolutely 100% serious on this note. This is the one thing that we will not change after this May 15th deadline. We will tell you time and time again, no changes to senior seminar after May 15th. So if you want a senior seminar in your schedule, fill out that schedule change form before May 15th. Now on the flip side, if you want to drop a senior seminar to add a class, we will do that at any time pretty much, okay? So that's always safe. But if you come to us towards the end of second semester and just say, I'm done, I need a release period, I've got 3 other AP classes and I've got a job and I've got track, we're still going to tell you, no, you cannot have a senior seminar. We can look at other release periods, like maybe a co-op or something along those lines, but no senior seminars. All right, hopefully you got that point. Okay, updating your email address in Naviance. I cannot stress to you how important this is. We need to have an updated email address in Naviance for you. And the reason why is that your senior year, there's so much going on. There's going to be college admission. There's going to be information on scholarships and financial aid. There's going to be information on commencement and graduation and senior awards night. Likewise, if you're taking an ACP class, we've got to send your email address to ACP. So please, please, please make sure that you have your email updated in Naviance. So, and make sure it's not your Google Drive address. So if it says 1234 at wws.k12.in.us or whatever it is like that, that is not an email address. We need it to be a personal email, like maybe your Gmail address, something along those lines. All right, quick note, if you can't get into Naviance, because they did update everyone's passwords at the beginning of the year in January, I think. So if you can't get into your Naviance account, email your counselor and we can reset your account and get you a temporary password. All right, and this is how your email address in Naviance. So you're going to log into your Naviance account. Once you get in, you're going to go to your About Me tab right there. Once you're in About Me, you're going to click on Account. And then you're going to see in the right-hand corner the contact information. Click this button that says Edit with the pencil. Email address gets updated. So I appreciate that. All right, Now, moving on to college admission information. So for those of you who are planning on applying to colleges, we know that this is kind of a stressful time right now for you because with COVID and the quarantine, there's just a lot up in the air. SATs are being canceled and college visits are being canceled and college campuses are closed. So it can be kind of scary. Unfortunately, we had to cancel our college boot camp. So with all of that being said, we want to provide you enough information to kind of get you through this process or to get you started on this process while you're finishing up this school year and things you can do over the summer as well to make sure that you're ready for your senior year. Hopefully, we'll be back in school in the fall and we'll see you when we get there. And we'll have another group meeting and individual group meetings with all of our seniors. Fingers crossed, everything will be kind of normal again. But in the meantime, these are some things that you can be doing until we see you again. So start by really kind of narrowing your college search. You know, ideally, you're going to have maybe 5 or 6, maybe 10 colleges on your list, kind of things narrowed down by the start of your senior year. And there are so many colleges out there and so many ways to find what colleges are going to be a good fit for you that you can, really think about what you want in a school and start narrowing things down. It can be overwhelming though. And so one of the best ways to start narrowing your search is through our college supermatch in Naviance. So again, you're going to go into your Naviance account, click on the college's homepage, and then find College Supermatch. So once you go into Supermatch, you can choose your college fit criteria by any number of filters. So you can filter by size and location. You can filter by your specific major. You can filter by GPA, costs, academics, student life, athletics, you name it. And when you do that, it is going to start filtering things down. Now, up here, you can see that there's a little box that says must have, and then right next to it is nice to have. You can move those things back and forth. So if you absolutely must have a college in Indiana, then keep your location here in must have. If you could give or take, for instance, Greek life or student body size, move it over to nice to have. So you're just going to click on it and shift it over to the next box. So as you add things to your fit criteria, it's going to start narrowing down your search and it's going to pull up the colleges that meet your criteria. And it will show if it's meeting your criteria 100% or if not. So for instance, in this example, you can see that Dayton is meeting my criteria 100%, but IUPUI right above it is only 80% fit score. And if you're not sure why it's not meeting that, you can click on that why and it will tell you what is the issue there or why it's not meeting your criteria 100%. From this, you can favorite these colleges by clicking on the heart and saving that. That'll save those colleges to your Colleges I'm Thinking About tab. You can also click on the name of the school, this kind of dashboard where it's going to give you a lot more information. So up at the top, you can see that there is a, let's see if I can do this. You can do this right here. Yep. So you can see the overview right there and then studies that shows your majors, student life. I'm in the admissions tab right there. And so with the admissions tab, it's going to show you things like priority deadlines. If you click on the see all deadlines, it'll show you if it has a early action deadline or a regular deadline. It's going to show you the acceptance rate, and that is the college's overall acceptance rate, not just Westfield students. It will also then show you recent Westfield High School admissions statistics. So how many students applied, were accepted, and then enrolled from Westfield High School. So for instance, this is Ball State. We have a lot of students applying to Ball State. In 2018, we had 213 applicants. What does that say? 154 accepted and then 44 students enrolled. So you can kind of get an idea of their overall acceptance rates as well as the specific Westfield stats. So again, this dashboard, tons of good information. Next, if you scroll down on that admissions dashboard where I just was, you're going to see recommended courses, and this is so important. And I really want students to look at this because it is going to show you how many years are required of each subject area. Okay, now most of this is pretty straightforward. Okay, so for instance, if you are graduating with a Core 40 diploma, you're gonna have 4 years of English, and you're gonna have 3 years of science and 3 years of social studies. However, there are some things. Typically, you're gonna see it in math and foreign language, where they might require more math or more world language than a Core 40 diploma requires. Okay, so take a look at the required courses as well as the recommended courses for your college that you're looking at. Look at your schedule, make sure that you've got it all in there, make sure that you're meeting that criteria. You can always go to the college admission website. Look on their admission page too, and it will give you more information. For instance, are there specific math courses they want? Purdue can be very particular about that. IU can be very particular about that. For instance, IU wants you to specifically have at least trigonometry, which means you have to get through at least Pre-Calc 1 here at Westfield. Sciences, they may want specific lab courses, biology, chemistry, physics. So go to their website for more information. World language, typically they're going to want, if they want world language, if they're going to require 2 years of a language, it's typically going to be 2 years of the same world language. So, of course, good information to have as you are looking at your schedules. Okay, next in the college admission dashboard, you are going to come across the scattergrams, and these are something that we have been showing you guys for years. But it really becomes more relevant to you now that you're juniors and taking a look at the college admission process. Now that you're almost there, this is going to actually, I think, be so much more relevant to you and so much more meaningful to you as you're looking at this. So you scroll down the admission dashboard in Naviance, find the scattergrams, and again, it's going to show you recent admission data from Westfield High School. This is for University of Kentucky. I wanted something that wasn't going to have too many green check marks to hide everything. If you're looking at Ball State or IU Bloomington, the green check marks and the red X's, it's so busy because we have so many applicants, it can get a little bit distracting. So I thought this was a good example to show you. All right, this axis is the GPA. And then down below is the SAT or ACT. You can actually toggle back and forth with the SAT or ACT up here. Obviously, some of you may not have an SAT or an ACT score yet because maybe you were planning on taking all of that in March and those got canceled. That's okay. We do have your PSAT results in Naviance, and so some of those results will show up there, or just click on this too and you can change that to whatever test score it is. So all of these green check marks, those are all students from Westfield that have been admitted. These red X's, these are students who have not been admitted. And then here is you. You are that little blue dot right here. And that is your specific GPA and your specific test scores based on the information that we have in PowerSchool. All right, so that gives you an idea of where you are with other students who have been accepted or not accepted to these specific universities. So if you're looking at this student, my fake student here, you've got, I don't know, you've got a student right next to them that was not accepted to UK. You've got a student right next to them that was accepted to UK. You're kind of right in the midst of a lot of green check marks. So, you know, your chances of admission might be pretty good. But there are some extenuating circumstances, I think, with some of these students who weren't admitted. But it's not necessarily, you know, a guarantee. So keep that in mind. Maybe talk with the admission counselor from that college to get some more information and find out where you might fall in the admission process. Okay. Now, if your blue dot is way up here on the upper right, with all these green check marks over here, you're probably in pretty good shape for admission, okay? If you are kind of down here in the lower left corner, probably not such a great fit for you academically. Maybe consider applying to other schools in addition to that. Don't make this, you know, your only school that you're applying to. So again, good, relevant information for you. All right, so I know that college campuses are closed to visiting, and this is the prime time for you guys to be visiting college campuses. So that's kind of hard for you. Getting on a college campus is really important because you want to see how you fit in with the students there. You want to see what the classrooms look like. You want to see what the dorms look like. So, hopefully college campuses will start opening up again, maybe over the summertime or in the fall of your senior year. But if not, check out uvisit.com. They have thousands of college visits or college campus tours on their website. And you can filter by state, you can filter by the college name, and they will give you 360 virtual tours of these college campuses. So it's pretty cool, and you can at least get some information there. You can always go to the campus website as well, and they're going to have a lot of information for you there too. So do what you can virtually while everything is closed. But if you can get on the college campuses, maybe in the summertime, or maybe once your senior year starts, that's going to be ideal. And when we say visit a college campus, what we mean by that is don't just go walk around. Don't just go to a football game. Those are always fun, but there's more to it than that. You want to meet with the admission counselor there. You want to go on an official tour. So even if your brother or sister goes to a campus and you've been there every weekend and you've been to plays there or what have you, going on the official tour and meeting with the admission representatives, you're going to get a really good feel for the academic programs, the student body and the student life, scholarships, financial aid, the admission process, internships, you name it. They're going to be able to answer a lot of questions for you that maybe your older brother or sister can't answer for you. You'd be amazed at the kinds of things that tour guides know, and they are trained specifically to know all sorts of little details about the college campus. And admission counselors, that is their job, to know the ins and outs of everything on this college campus. So meet with them, get some face-to-face time with them, and get some of your questions answered if possible. All right, building and updating your resume. This is definitely something that you can do while you're home over the summer. So you're going to go back into your Naviance account and go to About Me, go to the resume builder, and you can create your own resume. You want to have all of your activities, your leadership skills, any jobs you have, any hobbies or interests, your education. That is putting down, that you're attending Westfield High School, that you plan to be graduated by June of 2021 with an Indiana Academic Honors Diploma or what have you. Typically, if you have a 3.0, 3.5 GPA or higher, you want to include that in your education on a resume. Maybe emphasize specific classes that you've taken. For instance, if you're in the Project Lead the Way program or something, or if you are focused on the arts. So you can create your resume in Naviance. You should have maybe started that earlier in your schooling in one of our Naviance sessions, so you can update it. Make sure it's all just high school. So if you started this in middle school in your Prep for College class in 7th or 8th grade there, get rid of the middle school stuff and just use your high school information instead, okay? So then another thing that you can do, once we flip the school year, and that's usually at the start of July, everything like our seniors that are seniors now officially become graduates, you guys officially become seniors, and then you will have the colleges I'm applying to tab open to you in Naviance. And that means that you can go in and add colleges to your colleges I'm applying to section and request transcripts there. So get back into your Naviance account, click on your colleges I'm applying to tab, and then in order to add a college, you're going to click on the kind of magenta plus button there, and then you're going to search for your college here. So search your college there. Sometimes colleges have similar names, so make sure you're choosing the correct one. There is a Butler in Pennsylvania. I think it's Butler College, Franklin College and Franklin University. Some colleges have similar names, so make sure you're choosing the right one so that we can send the transcripts to the right college. Next, it's going to ask you the application type, and this is where you're going to mark whether you're applying early action, regular admission, in very rare circumstances, early decision. Typically, if you're going to be applying, you're going to be applying early action, and that means you're applying to their early priority dates to be considered for specific programs and scholarships. We'll talk more about early action versus early decision once we start your senior year. But again, you'll want to put the application type there. It really has no bearing on how you apply, but it will show you the deadline for that specific admission type. So again, if you click early decision there and you didn't mean to, that's okay. It's not going to change your application to the college itself. It's just going to change the deadline that you see when you're in Naviance. Okay. Next, you're going to mark how you're submitting your application and the ways you submit your application. For instance, in this example, direct to institution. That means you are going to that college's website and you are filling out that application on their website. Other options might include the common application or the coalition application. So again, you're going to want to know how you're applying to that specific college. Finally, you're going to mark that you've submitted your application right there. And then you're going to hit add and request transcripts. So then that puts that into your colleges I'm applying to dashboard and we will see it. Okay, so a couple things that you might want to see before I click on some buttons. So there's your college, there's Bradley, I just added that. I added it early action, okay. And then over here, you will see that there's a line crossed out through CA. And that means that you are applying direct to institution and not through Common App. So had you marked that you were applying Common App, it would just say CA there and it wouldn't have that red line through it. So when do we send transcripts? Number one, we will send transcripts starting August 30th. And the reason why we wait until then is we need to make sure that everything is perfect on your transcript, that everything looks good, that all your grades are accurate, that your summer school grades have been put on appropriately, that your GPA is calculating correctly, that your diploma track is accurate. So it takes time and we want to make sure that things are accurate. So we'll not go out until August 30th. Keep in mind that that will still make it to colleges by all of their admission deadlines. Okay, so whether you send in a transcript August 1st or November 1st to Purdue, for instance, you're not going to get a decision any earlier. Okay, so for instance, Purdue, okay, they send out all of their admission decisions on January 15th. Whether your transcript is there August 1st or November 1st makes no difference, okay? We are not going to miss deadlines. As long as you are doing what you need to be doing, we are not going to miss admission deadlines. So take a deep breath and that will be okay. Sometimes colleges make it sound like they have to have your transcripts in the summer. They do not. The earliest a deadline can possibly be for admission is October 15th. And if any college tells you differently, they are going against our National College of Admission or College Admission Counselors Board's guidelines. So no admission deadline can be prior to October 15th. Most are November 1st, November 15th. The very earliest would be October 15th. Okay, so then next, you want to make sure that you've done a couple things correctly in your Naviance queue in order for us to be able to see your transcript request in our queue. So if you look at this box, this is where you're going to see it. First, your transcripts need to be marked as requested. If they are not, if it says something else there, you need to come up back here to manage transcripts and request your transcripts, okay? So the next thing is that your application has to be marked as submitted, all right? So if it's not transcript requested, application submitted, it will not come up in our queue to send. So make sure that that's what it looks like, okay? Once we have sent your transcripts, it will say office materials, it'll say initial materials sent, and then transcripts sent as well here, okay? Next, another thing you can do this summer, again, this is something that not every student has to do, but if a college is requesting a letter of recommendation and they require it for admission, or maybe you're applying to scholarships that require a letter of recommendation, this is a good thing for you to do over the summer. Again, we just want to give you some ideas of things that you can be doing to prepare while we are not in school. So this letter of recommendation worksheet is found in Naviance. It is a series of short answer questions all about you. So it's going to ask things about what is your passion? What is your priority with your schooling? Where do you see yourself? What was a project in high school that you really put your heart and soul into? It might ask something like, were there any extenuating circumstances that affected your GPA? And there can be. Maybe you had a concussion your sophomore year and your grades just really weren't where you thought they should be. You fill that information out, and then that way your counselor can write the best possible letter of recommendation for you. So your letter of rec worksheet can be found in Naviance in the My Planner tab. And then you're going to go to tasks assigned to me. And then it's going to ask you to take this survey. Okay, so it is a survey. Again, it's short answer questions. Not everybody has to do this, but if you've got it prepared and you've got it done already, then if you decide kind of at the last minute to apply to a college that does require a letter of recommendation, you'll already have it done. So again, just something else you can do this summer when you've got some free time. All right, something else you can do this summer, and this is something that we would normally do during college admission boot camp. And so again, we're very sad that we aren't able to host college admission boot camp, because starting your essay, getting a rough draft in place is one of the best things that you can do while you're home. One of the best things that we did during our boot camp. So you can start your personal statements. A lot of the colleges that you'll find, if they require an essay or if they're a Common App school, they're going to use the same essay prompts from year to year. So for instance, if you're applying to Butler and IU and DePauw, and those are all Common App schools, you can go to the Common App website and you can look at their essay prompts. Pick one and start writing it. Put it away for a little while, go back and look at it, reread it, proofread it, edit it. You're going to want a pretty decent amount of time to work on your essay, and starting it in the summer is a great time to do that. Then when we get back to school, maybe have a teacher proofread it as well. You want to have your essay kind of polished and perfected when you start your application process. And that means not waiting till the last minute. Typically, most students wait till the very last minute for their essays. It's just kind of what everybody does. Hey, I've got everything done. I just need to write the essay. Well, flip-flop that. Get your essay done first, and the rest of the application will be a breeze. Okay, next bullet point, you can actually start your Common Application now. Now, the Common App doesn't open up for colleges until August 1st, but if you start your Common App now, you can roll it over once August 1st comes around. So you can fill all of that information out, have most of it done and taken care of, and then it'll roll over August 1st. Now, one thing that I want to really highlight though, and this happens every year, is that students start to fill out their Common Application, and then they start to add their colleges to their Common App and realize that maybe their colleges don't accept the Common Application. Not every college accepts the Common Application. So for instance, if you're applying to Indiana State, University of Southern Indiana, Ball State, they do not accept the Common Application. So if you've completed a Common App and then realized that none of your colleges accept that Common App, you've just wasted a lot of time. So double check Naviance to see if they accept it, or check the college's website. They'll tell you whether or not they accept the Common App. But just make sure that you are applying to colleges that are on the Common App if you start to fill that form out now over the summer. Okay, SATs and ACTs. So obviously a lot of you had signed up to take the ACT in March and the SAT in March, and then those both got canceled. And then many of you signed up to take the June SAT, which Westfield was supposed to be hosting, and that got canceled too. And then the ACT in June, last I checked, had not been canceled, but keep your eye out for that, because I just don't know whether or not that June ACT is going to be able to be offered. If the June ACT is offered, it is not going to be at Westfield, so you'll have to choose a different test location. And the registration deadline is May 8th. Now, for those of you who are taking the school day ACT in March, you should have already gotten your refund check from me, from the school. And if your June or April or May tests have been canceled, you should be able to either apply those funds to the next test that you take, or you can ask the College Board or ACT for a refund. So for again, many of you, these March tests, April, June, those were going to be your first time taking the SAT and ACT. And so everything is going to get shifted back a little bit. SAT and ACT are planning to add more tests in the fall because of all these cancellations. So you should still have the opportunity to take the SATs and ACTs. We are still going to have that October SAT at Westfield. There are also going to be some August and September dates as well. I'm not sure if we're going to have any additional ones at Westfield. We are looking into that now, though. But if you can, you're going to need to take your SAT or ACT in the fall. Now, I have seen, and you may have seen though, that a lot of colleges are choosing to go test optional for your specific graduating class. And if you're not sure what test optional means, that means that you don't necessarily have to have an SAT or ACT score to be considered for admission. And there are a lot of colleges that are going test optional anyway. They had gone test optional even before all this coronavirus stuff started. For instance, Ball State, Indiana University is now test optional, DePaul. A lot of colleges are going this route. And that means that you have the opportunity to say, I would like you to consider my application for admission without looking at my test scores. So there are various reasons why you may or may not want to be test optional, and that's something we can discuss in further detail later, and you can learn more about it on the college's website. For instance, the Ball State admission website has an amazing FAQ section all about test optional admission. So take a look at that, but a lot of colleges, because of this corona situation, are choosing to not require an SAT or ACT for admission now. All right, so if we can get you registered for an SAT or ACT in the fall, you're going to do that now on their college websites. So you can go straight to their links here. You can also find their links on our website on the WHS Counseling Center page in the colleges tab. When you register, you do want to send your scores to pick which colleges you want your score sends to be sent to, because it is free with registration and it will cost you time and money if you do it later on. So if you have some colleges in your list, go ahead and select them to receive your test scores when you take your test. All right, NCAA and NAIA. If you are a student wishing to play NCAA Division I or II or NAIA athletics in college, you have to register online through their eligibility centers. And so I've got the links down here. You can find those links on our website as well. You've got to register with them. You've got to send your transcripts as well as your test scores. As far as I know, you still have to send test scores to the NCAA. I haven't seen anything yet that says that they are test optional for your graduating class, but we'll keep our eye out for that. So at least start your eligibility center profile if you are planning on playing Division I or II NCAA or NAIA athletics. All right, so what's coming up in the fall? Again, we're going to have a lot of information for you in the fall. We know that senior year, there's just a lot going on, and the college planning or the college admission process, it's like a class in itself on top of your other classes. There's so much to do, so many deadlines, so many essays and things to fill out. So we've got a lot of events and a lot of programs to try to keep you updated with it. So first is our coffee with senior parents. So a lot of your parents want to know what's going on too. And we have a special program for them at the start of the year that goes through the whole college application process and what they can expect in these next couple months. We also will have another college rep day. You've seen and been to our college fairs, I'm sure, already. They are awesome events for you to meet with college admission counselors and to learn more about colleges. Hopefully by the time we have our Shamrock College Rep Day in September, you will have your college list narrowed down. And if you have your college list narrowed down, you can still talk to those admission counselors and get more information. And if you are kind of late in the game and you haven't narrowed your search, then that college fair will just be a great way for you to learn more about some additional colleges. Likewise, we also will have our individual college visits. This is a time during core time that admission counselors can meet with you. And these admission counselors, again, they're coming from the colleges. They are the people that read your applications when they come into their college. They are the point person for you. It's their job to know every little detail about their college, about the admission process, about scholarships and financial aid, about majors, about sports. And if they can't answer your question for you, they will get you in contact with a person who can. But again, these are often the people who are making the admission decisions for Westfield High School students, or at least taking your application to the admission committee. So it is in your best interest to get to know them, trust me, because they're going to be the ones who are going to pull for you in that college admission committee if you are maybe borderline in admission. So get to know them. They are great resources. And we've got usually about 60 admission counselors that will come in the fall during core time. You can see a list of them in Naviance, and then you'd need to sign up enriching students to sign up for core time to meet with them. All right, and then advising sessions in senior year. So from the get-go in August, first thing we're going to do is we're going to have you in a small group session with your specific admission counselor to talk more about this admission process in detail. So each counselor will have a specific meeting with their own students, and they'll go through this whole process and answer questions. Then we're also going to have 2 common application workshops, one in September, one in October, that students can come to. It is a workshop. It is not a presentation. Students bring their laptops, or we provide a laptop for them. They get into their applications and they work for a few hours and hopefully get their applications completed. Counselors are there to answer questions and to guide them along the way. We supply you with plenty of food and beverages, and it's just kind of a fun, relaxing, chill time to get your application done. I've had a lot of seniors say this is just a nice time to kind of carve specific time out for this application. It's something that they could do at home, but it's fewer distractions when they do it here at the Common Application Workshop. We're also going to have some core time help. So we're going to have some core time sessions maybe once a week where students can come in and we can help guide them in how to request transcripts appropriately, or again, how to complete a common application, or maybe proofreading an essay. So we're going to have some core time admission help. And again, you'll need to sign up and enriching students for that. And then typically starting at the end of August, beginning of September, each counselor meets with every single one of their seniors to have an individual meeting and go over everything with them. We're gonna go over your transcript and all of your graduation requirements. We're gonna go over your I-STEP scores or grad pathways with you, and then your post-high school plans. And if that includes college, then we're gonna talk about the college admission process. If that includes workforce or military, we're gonna talk about that too. So every counselor will meet with every senior individually to talk about all these things. So what your senior year is going to look like. There's a lot to it. Like I said, there's a lot to this process, and we've kind of laid it out for you. So typically August through December is when students are going to complete the college applications. You're going to want to double check every deadline that you have, keep track of all your college's admission deadlines, but August through December is typically the heaviest time for filling out applications. Then October through February, that's when students and families file the FAFSA. That is that free application for federal student aid. That's how you're considered for financial aid. So if you are hoping to get any kind of grants or student loans, any kind of need-based assistance, you've got to file that FAFSA, and it's based on your family's income. Then March through April, you're going to review your financial aid packages from all your colleges. They will show you everything that you have received financially. So maybe it's an academic scholarship, maybe it's a student loan, maybe it's work study, but it will show you exactly what you can expect financially and what you will pay out of pocket. And then May 1st, that is that National College Decision date. May 1st is the date that you need to let colleges know what your decision is. Yes, I am enrolling at your school, and here is my enrollment deposit to hold my place in that class. Or, thank you for your admission, but I have chosen to go elsewhere. So May 1, which is a year and a week from today. Okay, so you've got a year and a week before you have to make your college decision. All right, so don't stress, you've got plenty of time, but it will come a lot sooner than you think. And then down here too, all year, look for scholarships on Naviance. We'll talk more about scholarships in another program, but we have lots of local scholarships in Naviance that you can look for through your senior year. Everything from Westfield Education Foundation to the Athletic Booster Club to the Lilly Scholarship and the Wells Scholarship for IU. So there's a lot of scholarship money out there, but you have to search for it and you have to apply for it. And again, we will help you through that process once we get into your senior year. All right, final slide, some resources for you. So if you haven't been on our college counseling website, pardon me, if you haven't been on our college counseling website, go to whscounselingcenter.com, click on the college planning tab. We have so much information there. We have a link to our college application book. It is a huge resource for you. It has everything you'd ever want to know about the college admission process. It's not anything that you would read through cover to cover, but if you need to find information about what early decision means or what the FAFSA asks for your financial aid forms, you can go to this college application book and you can find a lot of stuff out there. It also has a good sample resume for you if you want to take a look at that. It also has a list of commonly asked questions when you go on a college visit. So great resource for you there. We also have lots of handouts as well as the presentations from our last college planning night. So we had college planning night in December, and we had about 8 different workshops or breakout sessions, things on SAT and ACT, financial aid, dual credit and AP credit, athletics in college, you name it. We had lots of presentations from the college planning night. All of those presentations can be found there. We again have the links to the SAT and ACTs there, NCAA information. So go to our Counseling Center website, click on the college tab, you'll find a lot of information. Obviously, Naviance. We have been pushing Naviance to you now for 3 years, 4 years. If you started it in 8th grade, now is the time when it is super, super relevant and it is such a great tool for you. So get in there, use that College Supermatch tab. Learn more about all the colleges, check things out, do some career searching too. If you have no idea what you want to do when you're in college or what kind of careers you want, maybe you're not college bound, maybe you want to go straight into the workforce. Find out more about careers. There's a ton of career searching information there too. So take a look at Naviance, get in there. Like I said earlier in a slide, if you cannot access it, email your counselor and we will update your username and password there. Finally, your high school counselor. We are here to help you. We know that this is such a weird time for all of us. We're all stuck at home. We can't meet face to face. You probably have a ton of questions. We are still here for you. So email your counselor. We want to help. Trust me, we want to help. So don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions. And then, like I said, hopefully we will see you in August and things will be back to normal, hopefully. And we'll see all of our students in the fall and we can get lots of questions answered and we will get this process going. So that is it. I hope you got a lot of good information out of this PowerPoint and this video. And like I said, if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Miss you all. Hope you are all doing well. Take care and finish strong with your e-learning and have a great summer. Thanks.